What's up, everybody?
Ooh, I like that intro. Finally, you're not, what's up, guys?
I learned.
Yeah, no, it was very
and I get
nice.
better.
No, I'm very proud of you.
Welcome to another episode of BeawCast. And today, our three sponsors are Noom, Audible,
Oh, yeah.
and HelloFresh.
I love all of them.
Me too. But today, I kind of want to get a little bit deeper.
We've been getting deep.
A little bit slower.
Damn.
Just because, I think right now mental health is a big issue, and it's something that has been brought to the public awareness more.
Yeah,
whereas before, people are like, oh, just suck it the fuck up, or that's not a problem, that's not a real problem.
Yeah,
but
stop
now
being a little bitch.
Yeah, but now people are treating mental illness and also just mental health as if it's like an actual medical condition, just like how if you have a cold, like you need to see help. It's in the same way.
Yeah.
And I think what's tough about mental health is that it's easily, there's so much blend and gray area with your daily life. Like, for example, if someone scratches your car, are you sad or are you depressed? I think so. I think it's hard for people to even get help because there's just so much blur.
Yeah.
They don't know if it's actually just a natural emotion that they're feeling, or I've also seen a very commonly used on social media, and I feel like a lot of the younger kids these days, they write words that are a little bit over exaggerated, like, oh, so depressed, got a C on my test. I'm like, no, you're just sad right now.
We all do that, right?
You're just sad right now. You're not really clinically depressed.
We all do that though, because we jokingly say, and this is not even joking, it's not a joking matter, but like we'll say, because we like things to be very orderly and clean, right? We're like, oh, we have slight OCD, which is not true. Like, there's no level of OCD that you and I have.
I have clinical OCD.
You literally have clinical.
I
I've never
do.
heard of this.
Well,
wait,
so,
is this a joke?
No.
Why do you tell me these secrets?
It's very mild. I mean, it doesn't affect me
but
as
you
a
said
person.
It's clinical.
Yeah, so I
a
remember
doctor told you.
Yeah, so remember when I told you when I was in junior high?
Oh my God.
So
okay, well, I guess I was the one using it wrong.
So when I was in junior high, remember I was getting in a super amount of trouble. So it was to the point where so my assistant principal at the time, shout outs to Mr. Tarpley, like he fought for me so hard because I would get in so much trouble. All the teachers wanted to suspend me. Some of them even recommended to expel me. And Mr. Tarpley always got my back because he always felt like I had so much potential. And I would have to go to the district council meetings. Like, my issues were so big that the school couldn't handle it. So they needed to get third party judgment. Yeah. So I'll go to the district, which no one even knows where the district office is.
I know where they're always at.
Because you never have to go there.
Yeah.
But I'm always there. And then they'll get like counselors or assistant principals from other schools to be on the hearing and then give almost like jury duty to give an accurate sentencing and solution to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so one of the things was because I got into so much trouble, but I was also killing it on tests. Like, it'd be one test I get the top score, next test I get an F. And then so my assistant principal, he was really cool. He really wanted to get down to the bottom of it and was like, how can this kid do so good and then do so bad? Like, he's doing this on purpose. What's going on?
What a smart man.
Yeah. So he, so instead of just ruling me out as like a bad kid, so I got a list of tests. I had an IQ test. I had I got tested for ADD and ADHD, and I had both of them.
Whoa.
And then also they said I'm slightly OCD.
I didn't know that you can have both ADD and ADHD. I thought it was one's a more severe version of the other.
No, you could have both. So one's more of like just a mental component of it.
Yeah.
And the other one could be just the physical hyperactive component of it. And then you can have both.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah. So I had those three. I don't remember if they told me if I had a fourth one, probably because my ADD kicked in and I was already thinking about something else. But I do have those three things. The OCD is very mild and and this is something that I used to deal with.
That's wild because you don't show any signs of that.
Well, I had to battle it for a long time. Like, back in the day, like, for example, I always pee before I go to bed, right? Like, I even do that now. But back in the day, if even I don't have any pee, like I peed literally 10 minutes before I went to bed, I would go in bed and I would just lay there and I'm like, okay, I don't even have pee. But you got to pee before you go to bed. I'm like, no, I don't even have pee right now. I literally don't have pee. And I would lay there for an hour and I'm like, oh, fuck. And I have to go up and have to go pee and just force to drop out. And then I go and then go back to sleep.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a battle. It's an internal battle that you have, like this conversation that you have.
I had no idea.
Oh, really? I thought I told you before. You just thought I was fucking around, probably.
I mean, everyone says shit like what your example, like, I'm so depressed, but that just means I'm really sad.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're clinically depressed, then that's a whole different conversation, right?
Yeah.
So I say like I have slight OCD. I don't have any sign of OCD. You know what I mean?
No, I do. There's things that I have to do.
That's why
it's extremely debilitating.
Wow.
Yeah. There's like what's something else that I also used to do? I remember I used to have a clicking thing. I don't know what it was. I think it was like something with keys. I had to scratch the top or something before I put it in the key, or else
you never told me these things.
I forgot about it. I just thought about it right now because it's been buried. It's been like long. I've been battling it, and then it gets milder and milder and milder because then I'm able to show myself the world's not going to end, you know?
That's good.
So there's like a lot of things that I don't really care about. And then also I think because of comedy, you know, comedy, it's all about the improv, the yes and the scene, being present. I've found so much joy in that and
the unknown.
The joy of the unknown.
I think the unknown.
Like also even being around Joe for such a long time, like since he's so impulsive, like almost opposite of OCD, and I see the joy that has, it made me be able to see things and deal with it. So I'm very, very mild on it now. But then one thing that still kind of transcends that is like, you know, when you tell me like, do you not want me to open any bottles? You know, because I close bottles, like baby bottles and everything so hard. That's not because of my strength. It would just be before, like if I had to close anything, I would have to go 1, 2, 3, boom, 1, 2, 3. Like everything has to be done exactly that amount. Like almost, I have to be my own.
How am I hearing all of this from the first time?
I had to be like my own.
Mind blowing.
Well, because I dealt with. I mean, I've already. By the time we got together.
How many other things do you hide?
And
I don't mean hide in the in the way that like your intentions are bad.
Yeah.
I know you're not being shady. I know your intentions are not bad.
Yeah.
But this is a whole new thing. Like I'm not gonna love you less, obviously, but like it's like the hot girl that you got at the club with big titties, beautiful green eyes, blonde hair, and then you hook up, you wake up, she's a brunette, she has small fucking brown eyes. Not that they're
small brown eyes.
I don't know. I don't even know what that means.
Like her pupils are an iris.
She's got
just
no
smaller.
titties, and her ass is fake. You know what I mean? Like you've just been duped.
You've been duped?
No, I'm just saying you're not. You're just becoming more human.
Oh,
that's
fine.
all right, you're just becoming more human. And I think to that note, I've always been kind of on the fence of like, you know, the mental health trend I don't want to call it a trend, but the mental health awareness that's happening now, I really like it, but I'm also scared about it. And I'm scared because I know people tend to use these things as a crutch, right? Like, oh, I can't do this anymore, like because of this, you know. And it's like I don't like that people use it as a crutch. Whereas someone like you, and I would hope someone like me would be like, I don't like this. Like this is something about myself that I don't like. I don't like feeling down or held down to something, you know, that's controlling me.
Yeah.
Like I want to feel like I have control over myself.
Yeah.
So that's a side of it that I don't like, that I feel like people just surrender to it and they're like, oh, I don't want to feel this anymore. Medicate me, make me numb.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, man, you're losing all the beauty of what life is.
Yeah.
Life is about feeling. Life is about the yin and the yang. It's about the black and the white, you know, like you're supposed to have these bad feelings because then that's how you appreciate the good feelings, you know? The part of it that I love is now you're aware and you have a better understanding of who you are and why you have these outbursts or why you have these emotions. And you can work on that. So I've always kind of just been like, oh man.
For me, I think I actually really benefited from mental health not being a thing.
Oh.
Yeah,
why?
I think there's a couple different types of people. I think there's the awareness people. They go, oh, that's a thing? Cool. Let me act upon that. Let me get help for that. I need to know things. And I think that there's those type of people, and that's great for those people. I think for me, the more something becomes an issue, the less I take responsibility for it. And so, it's harder for me to deal with it. So
that's not true. I don't see that in you.
So for example, no, it is. And then I'll explain why. So I grew up in a time where mental health
Wasn't a thing.
Wasn't even a thing.
It's for crazy loonies.
And then there's like a psychologist that does walk around school, but no one even knows why.
I mean, just the whole time is like you only see a psychologist if you're crazy.
Yeah. So when I have the OCD stuff, instead of like, oh, I have OCD, so that's why when you guys give me carrots, please put it in threes. Like, instead of that becoming a thing, I just always felt like I'm kind of like weird, and I have these weird feelings. And then when I have these weird feelings, even though I know it's wrong and there's no negative aftermath, it made me want to be very proactive and get over it. So for example, like being scared of heights, right? Now I know it's called I think it's called acrophobia. Yeah, it's acrophobia. Like, let's say that's an actual mental illness, not a phobia, right? Then it'd be like, oh yeah, I'm just not gonna do it because it's mental health. There's nothing I could do about it. But I think because I view it as I'm just being a bitch and I'm being scared of high places. What can I do every single day to make me not be so scared, or at least acclimate myself to it? Maybe I'm scared. Maybe I can't do anything about the fear, but maybe that doesn't prevent me from being great. So maybe I can still scale mountains. And as long as I'm still, and even if I'm scared scaling the mountains, at least at the end of the day, I scaled the mountain.
Yeah. Well, I guess, so I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I would agree to that if I saw your behavioral pattern that way. Because you're not that way.
I'm not.
Because we're really similar in that when we want to achieve certain things, any shortcomings that we have, then we work so that they're not shortcomings anymore. Right? So for you, you're flat-footed.
Yeah.
And you know that that's your condition.
All right.
Yeah. And you're just like that's literally something you cannot change. Like, you can't. It doesn't matter how many, what your diet is like. It doesn't matter what your mental state is at. It doesn't matter how many pounds of weight you can lift.
Yeah.
You're going to be flat-footed no matter what.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe there's a surgery out there that I don't know.
Should I get implants? Maybe at the heel and then the ball of the foot?
What I'm saying is your personality, like, you cannot change that.
Yeah.
But you're still doing everything that they said that you cannot do because of that condition. You know, and just everything about you're like, fuck, okay, this is my shortcoming. Well, I don't want it because it's preventing me from reaching this goal.
Yeah.
Like, you wanted to your asthma. Like, with asthma, you're not supposed to be running. You're not supposed to be exercising. I don't know if you're not supposed to be, but it's very limited.
Not to the extent that I'm doing. No.
Right.
You're
It's
not
very
supposed
limited.
to stress out your respiratory system.
Yeah, good luck trying to scuba dive. Like, you can't do any of that shit.
Yeah.
But you're doing all of that.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't think that applies to you.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Maybe you just don't see yourself that way, or I don't know.
I don't know. I think, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe that's true. Yeah, maybe with or without labels, or with or without me being aware of it.
Yeah, like, there's something you don't like, you change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how crazy my OCD was? So, like, back in the day, like, even combing hair, and people just comb the hair to be the way it's supposed to look. I had to have a systematic, like, step-by-step process. So I have to go 1, 2, 3, like 1, 2, 3, and then and if it doesn't arrive,
You have to do everything. Sorry, you have to do everything in threes.
No, not in threes, but I would just do it in an exact way. I know my exact formula, and if I didn't arrive at what I wanted, I would go and shampoo my hair and then wash all of the gel out. And what was crazy is my other OCD is I can't wet my hair before without wetting my body. So once I do that, I'll go back, and if I don't, I'm like, fuck, let me just deal with one OCD thing one at a time. Right now, it's just the hair.
How old are we talking?
Maybe like 10. And I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, damn it, I can't deal with it. I'm like, fuck it. So I'll go jump back in the shower.
You cuss a lot at 10.
So I'll go back in the shower, and I'll take a full shower with the hair. And in my shower, I have to shampoo my head and then my body. And then I would come back out and I would do it. And there's times where I'm spending, like, I do 5 cycles of that just because I couldn't get it right.
Damn.
Oh, cool. So our our first sponsor.
That came out. That was so abrupt. You got snapped into the OCD and snapped out of it.
Yeah, because I can't see our timer sometimes.
I have to give him the Google eyes.
So you give me the googly eyes. So check it out. Our first sponsor is Noom. Oh man, I love Noom so much. So yes, I'm a coach in terms of powerlifting, strength and conditioning, and fitness. And so I always want to see the best people of all levels, right? I want to see Advanced people set insane PRs, but I also want to see just a regular person become better versions of themselves. And I think what we've come to realize is everyone kind of knows what they need to do. Everyone knows they got to drink water, they need to sleep 8 hours, and they got to burn more calories than they take in if they want to lose weight. I think everyone knows the general concept. Then why is it so hard for people to lose weight or achieve their fitness goals? And I think it's because they're not approaching it like a lifestyle change. They're not approaching it as a behavioral change. They're just looking at it as, okay, there's these segmented things. So what I love about Noom is that it's this app that you only have to commit 10 minutes a day, but in the palm of your hand, it's pretty much having a behavioral change professional, a nutritional expert, and a fitness trainer in one. So all the three things that you need kind of as like a comprehensive approach, you can have your training done, and it can give you even tips on what thing, like, hey, go to sleep before 11 so you don't end up having that crazy fourth meal from like a really junky fast food place. It takes everything and makes it more a behavioral responsibility instead of just, hey, did you do your 30 minutes? And it's like, everyone knows, I know I'm supposed to do my 30 minutes on my treadmill, but I'm so tired. But it'll help you space out your day so you can actually accomplish these things. So if you guys are really having a hard time reaching your goals, and then you're tired of like your personal trainer or other people telling you the exact same thing, maybe it's time to try something new, change your behavior, and make it a lifestyle change. So right now, if you go to Noom.com, that's NOOM.com, you can start your trial, and there's nothing to lose. And let me see, what is it saying? Yeah, go to Noom.com/BEAW bail to start your free trial right now, and go check it out, because I really do think this is for the people that just need that jump start. I think this is it, because it's
a different approach.
It's a different approach, and it's really hard sometimes. You know, when you're just by yourself and you're like, oh, I want to do this, but there's so many things holding me back. Well, this will help you, because it's going to look at it from 3 different angles. So go to Noom.com/bail, BEAW.
Beautiful.
Yep.
So going back to your OCD, like, I know a lot of our listeners are like, oh shit, I might have that too, or they can relate at some level. And it sounds like it's kind of an inconvenience, right? Because like you're 10.
It's a huge inconvenience.
Like, how did you?
It's a huge inconvenience, but it's also so what I like about X-Men is the same power that kind of debilitates you is also something that really empowers you. So
that's a dope way to look at it.
Yeah. So for me, because I have OCD and there's like certain really like specific tendencies, my attention to fine details is extremely high. So for example, like in scuba, one thing this is the most recent thing, so that's why I remember it. But like in scuba, when you get your gas tank, you're supposed to turn it all the way on, and then just a half quarter turn, and then and leave it there. And that way, when you need to do buddy checks with people to see if it's on or off, they just turn it, and then it should be within a quarter turn. They go, okay, it is all the way on, and then they just put it back over there. So it's kind of like a signaling device. And because I'm so particular, mine is a exact 90-degree turn.
Oh my God.
So when my instructor was doing it, he goes, Bart, you're killing it on these things, because I think other people are just kind of like just a little whoop, you know. But for me, because I'm like, oh, quarter turn, that's exactly 90 degrees. It's 360 degrees, so a quarter of that is 90. So like that kicks in. So a lot of those like very fine detail type things, I nail all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even my recent like motorcycle class, they're like, you got to turn at, you know, roughly between 30 or 45 or 60 degrees. And I'm like, oh, what's preferred though? Is it 30 degrees or 45 or 60? I'm like, it could probably be like 30 if it's this speed, and 60. I'm like, perfect. Memorized it. Because then I know the feeling between the difference of 30, 45, and then 60 degrees.
Damn.
Versus most people are just like, oh, okay, I kind of feel it out.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mind just goes, I have zero attention to detail. Like zero. Because I'm just always looking at like, my mind is in like La La Land, and it's fun. And I'm like, woo, woo, woo. And so I could either be celebrating because the task is done, and I wanted to get it done, or because I achieved it. I'm like, yeah, I'm so happy.
When I do stuff like that, a lot of times when I feel like my life is a mess,
Oh
Yeah,
my
it
god,
feels
you would
like-
die in my
yeah,
brain.
Yeah, it feels like things are a mess and everything's out of control. Like for example, like when I used to wash Tyson, even in the beginning, like in high school, after I washed him, I would go like 5 on the head, shh, 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 and then 10 on the neck, and then like 20 on the arms and the body. And then when I flip him over, I remember the exact amount. So that way his right side gets washed the same amount on his left side. So I go 5, get 10.
I'm just salsaing my way through life.
I know.
I'm like cha 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 cha. When everything is too like too orderly.
Japanese?
Yeah, when it's too orderly, I feel suffocated. I
I'm,
feel like
I'm crazy Japanese on the inside.
but yeah, I feel suffocated. I feel like this is either super boring, I can't breathe, or only when it really matters. You know, like
Yeah.
when it's life and death, or if
Yeah.
it's financial, and like when it can affect people negatively. That's when I'm like, let's fucking focus. And then like I do this trick where I have to look at things backwards because I'm like, it's so hard for me to focus that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look at it the right way, you know, from left to right. But then I need to focus extra, so I'm gonna go from right to left and try to like look at everything because it's so hard for me.
Yeah.
That's wild. But how did you I guess the stuff that is the inconvenience, right? So it's dope that you see it as like your superpower. That's something like I remember Kanye saying, like he's like, motherfucker, this is my superpower, because he's bipolar.
Yeah.
How did you overcome that? Like the constant like the 3 turns and like, oh fuck, my hair, I went 5 times on this side and only 3 on it. It doesn't look the same. I gotta wash my head now. Fuck, I gotta wash my body. Like, how did you get over that?
A lot of like fuck it's.
But that's so hard.
It's really hard.
How do you go fuck it? What's the first fuck it feel like?
It's almost like you ever try? Well, I mean, you've done this before, like where you do like a high dive,
Yeah.
or you do like cliff jumping.
Yeah.
It's either you're in it or you're still on the rock,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then people that are scared of heights, sometimes they'll run as soon as they get to the edge.
They
They stop. So you try to attempt a lot of fuck it's, and then at least this is how I help myself. I try a lot of fuck it's, and maybe half of them get through, but then through that half, I learned, hey, it's not so bad. And then I would try to attempt more and more fuck it's across my life. And then slowly you are able to, I guess, control the debilitating effects of it. And then but I keep the parts that I like. So for example, I think that's one of the reasons why I actually learn fast, is because I'm so like fine detail oriented. So like even for example, like when I do drills with Ron, I learn that at about 5 reps, I know it, and then about 10 reps, I really understand it. So before Ron is going based off rounds, right? Which most Muay Thai coaches are based off rounds. It's like 2-minute rounds. Okay, we'll do kicks for 2 minutes. I'm like, no. Let's do it for the actual number of reps. And then so he'll be like 10 reps. I'm like, yep. And then we'll do it based off that. And because of that, I know how to get better at things. I kind of understand how my mind works.
That's amazing. I don't know anything about my mind. I know nothing at all about my mind.
But that's also awesome because you're Party Time USA, and you don't even like, there's nothing that's really like debilitating you in that way.
That I'm aware of, because it might be debilitating, but because I'm not self-aware as much as I would like to be, I'm vomiting all over the place.
One battle I do see every single day of yours is how come sometimes you get fully changed and then randomly you fully change into something else?
Not because there's a condition or anything going on in my head.
That you know of, but what is it?
I just don't like the way I look. Because then I start thinking of different things, right? So I don't like being cold. And then I'm going to be like, oh, man, I'm going to be cold. Or it's more like, okay, well, the lighting's not going to be that good. Ooh, I don't like that. Or, ooh, I don't want my arms to look this way. Or it could be, oh, I'm going to film something else. I want to look lively. So there's just all these different things I'm thinking about.
Why don't you think about all those things and then just, hey, I'm going to have kids, so I'm going to paint my walls yellow. Instead of painting it all like, oh, fuck, I fucked up. Painting it all navy blue, damn, it's really dark. And then go back.
Because it's different once you see it on versus thinking about it.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's a completely different thing, right? Because I might be like, in theory, the blue wall would look really good. I put it on and I'm like, oh man, the way the sunlight came in here, it's actually darker than I want it to be. Ooh, I don't like it.
That's crazy. I have never not fully envisioned before I do it.
Oh no, I love to wing it. It's fun because that for me is all discovery land. It's all party time, you know? Like if I don't have deadlines and stuff, then I'm like, oh my God,
Play dress up all day.
I can let my imagination run free. Let's go, you know?
Damn, that's because I think that's why I get ready so fast. I have my closet, my entire closet memorized, and I know what I'm already gonna wear in my mind. And then I do all the dress up in my mind, like Kingsman.
I do that too.
Like, okay, got it. And then I never go back on that choice.
No, I'll go back. Wow. I'll have that too. I have my entire closet memorized as well.
Yeah.
And then I'll play around, dress up in my head too. And I'm like, ooh, what about this? What about this? And then I'm like, ooh, how do I want to feel? But then also the way I feel too is going to change. So the way I'm feeling at that moment might change. Like if it's a gloomy day that day, then I'm going to be like, oh, okay, I want to wear like a turtleneck, right? So I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to look cute with these boots and whatever. And then I'm done. And then I wake up and it's sunny and I'm like, oh man, it's so sunny. Okay, I'm going to wear like a jumpsuit with like strappy straps or whatever, like spaghetti straps.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn, it's interesting.
Yeah, I was never, that's a conversation that we never had in our house. Like mental, I mean, obviously, right? Like our parents' generation, like it was like a man is a man and a woman is a woman. A man doesn't complain out loud. A man doesn't like talk about stresses and stuff. And a woman is always supposed to be happy and whatever. Like that's their era. So for us, it was like, you're either being obedient or disobedient. That's it, you know? And in public, you have a smile. Behind closed doors, you deal with that shit on your own.
Yeah.
Like that's what you do. And my sister, my oldest sister, she's kind of, even now, she's the most like what we view as like the most emotionally unstable out of all of us. And I think it's because she's so vocal about it. So now that I'm more aware of just mental health and all that, I'm just like, oh, okay, she's actually very normal. She's not mentally unstable like how we always categorized her to be. It's just that she's just very vocal about it, you know? One
thing I wonder if they do take into account is mental health and like emotional stability if it's culturally sensitive. You know what I mean? Like what's baseline Mexican emotional stability? What's baseline?
You don't think we all feel emotions the same way?
No, I think it's cultural. Like for example, even with food, right? Like how many times have we've gone to like an Indian restaurant?
I think the way you express it is the same way.
No spice, no spice, and it's still the spiciest shit you ever ate in your life.
That's not an emotion now. That's a biological reaction to the spice.
But it's cultural.
Yeah,
because
but that's not
because they've been feeding their kids spice since they was a kid.
No, the cultural part comes in with the response, right? So you're Chinese, I'm Mexican, right? Yeah. You stub your toe, or not even that. You win the lottery, and you're gonna internalize that. You're gonna be like, whoa. Like inside, you're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, let's make it even more polarizing. Okay. Make it Japanese. I win $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Mexican. I win $1 million. Woo! Fiesta! Fucking bring the banda. Let's fucking party.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So culturally, the way we express it, that's what we see.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a huge difference.
But we felt the same thing. You felt excited. I felt excited. I don't think an emotion is cultural.
I think it is. I think there has to be. So, for example,
is that the word of today? For example.
Oh, fine.
You said it like 100 times already.
Okay.
For example.
So, not for example. How do you feel when you made a mistake, like you messed up? How do you feel?
That you're still bringing in a cultural thing. When I made a mistake, I'm gonna feel bad.
How bad?
Well, it depends on the mistake, and it depends on who I'm doing it to. That's the cultural part.
What?
So the cultural part
yeah. is
now how I'm expressing that, right? But the emotion of me feeling bad and you feeling bad, we're feeling the same thing.
I don't think so. So for a lot of Asians, when they mess up, like especially more old school, they feel bad not just individually. On the inside, they feel bad generationally. Disgracing
but
and
you're
like
not discussing an emotion anymore. You're not discussing the physical changes that happen in the body. You know what I mean? So something, I guess, way more simplified.
Yeah.
Crying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're gonna cry the same way I'm gonna cry. What we cry about are gonna be different. but we're going to express crying the exact same way. The tear ducts,
Yeah.
that's where the water's going to come out of.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So we all feel it the same way, but how we're going to feel it, I mean, how it's brought upon us is different, right? Because you're Asian, you're probably going to cry because you see your mom working in her 90s. You know, where I'm going to cry because my dog got ran over or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if your dog got ran over, you'd be like, well, that sucks. But I don't really care about animal life or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? But the action of crying, we're both doing it the exact same way.
Yeah.
The same way we smile when we feel pleasant.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's cultural. We all, as humans, we all generally feel emotions the same way, right? There's those outliers that just don't feel emotions.
But isn't that cultural though? So like if
what makes us feel those emotions are cultural, yes. But the emotion itself is not cultural. We're all feeling the same emotion.
that I'm not disagreeing with.
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying.
No, because I'm talking about emotional stability. The teeter-totter of that emotion. So we all feel anger. We all feel happiness, sadness, whatever. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
What I'm talking about is the teeter-totter, the way it's expressed, how it affects you. I think that is cultural.
Yeah.
A lot of older societies is completely wrong, completely bad. But like, let's say the female does something wrong and they get beat by their husband. A lot of times they're like, oh, that's my fault. You know, that's how it is in that culture. Modern culture, of course, like, hey, that's completely wrong. Don't you dare lay your hand on me. We're two humans.
I'm sure when like psychologists and stuff are dealing with that, I'm sure they take that into account. I'm sure of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because of that. Like, it's just different traditions, different schools of thought.
I hope so, because it almost feels like almost a different department now. It's more like the psychologist has a minor in sociology.
Well, because we're in America, and
Yeah.
Americans usually come in, like, if you're American, then you kind of all grow up the same way, you know, the same school of thought. But like, even, yeah, like there's just, you can probably find someone that specializes in like Asian, you know, families or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
And then you probably wouldn't even want to go with someone that's like Caucasian, because you're like, well, I wouldn't want to go to a male.
Because you have different problems.
Yeah, because I'm just gonna be like,
problems.
you don't understand like what a period is like and how that affects me, right? Like, in theory, you get it.
Yeah, that's so true.
You know, but I wouldn't feel comfortable. Maybe they could understand it, but I'm just not gonna feel comfortable talking about that.
Yeah, because I remember even in like in college, when like I'm like, and I talked to some of my white friends, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I really want to be a doctor or not. And they're like, then don't.
Right.
And I'm like, but no, you don't understand. So I'm like, my parents really want me to be a doctor. And they're like,
just talk to them. Just tell them you don't want it.
Yeah, just tell them you don't want to. Why don't you pick something you like? And I'm like, to be honest,
it's not like
I don't even know what I like. You know, like, you don't know what you like? I'm like, yeah, the whole time, the past like 8 years, I've just been trying to be like, whoa. Yeah. And then so like, if we have someone that's studying that field of like psychology, you would feel like you're not going to be able to relate to them.
Yeah,
and it's harder.
That's for sure something that's there, because even when I learned basic psychology, there's the like Asians are more like inclusive, like it's more of a unit.
Yeah.
What is that called?
Collective.
Yeah, it's a collective society where America, we're not. It's very independent, individual.
Yeah.
Yeah, Latinos are the same way. It's very independent, very individual.
Very passion. The Western is more like passion driven, and then Eastern society is very responsibility, obligation driven.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So it's time for our
he was surprised again.
Our time for our next sponsor. And our next sponsor is, have you guys heard of this? Audible. I'm sure you guys have.
Everyone's heard of Audible.
Yeah. So
everyone should use
Audible
it
is super cool. It's pretty much just audiobooks. It's a company where you can get audiobooks. And if you guys drive like me, or you commute, you drive to school, drive to work, drive anywhere, this is, to me, one of the most efficient uses of time to be able to learn and kind of better your skills and your knowledge. So I love podcasts, but I also love audiobooks. And one book that really interested me recently is there's this lady called Esther. I don't want to butcher her name, but I'm going to have to. Wojcicki. So Wojcicki. So she's the mother of the YouTube CEO, Susan Wojcicki, and also... I'm looking at the word. It's not Wojcicki. There's no S's in there.
Okay.
And she's also the mother of the 23andMe CEO, and her third child is a doctor. So she's coming out with a book, which is called How to Raise Successful People, Simple Lessons for Radical Results. And I'm like, man, this is really cool because
that's when she talks about trick.
Yeah, because so far there hasn't really been a child raising book that really interested me, because I'm like, well, what's your case study? Like, what have you done? And this lady has raised 3 exceptionally like successful people. So I'm like, this is really cool. So I'm definitely going to check that out on Audible. And since I don't have time to read right now, at least I could do it in my 30-40 minute drives. So right now we have a special offer. If you go to audible.com/Beaw, BEAW, or if you text Beaw, BEAW,
ooh, easy,
to 500, which is 500. What is it? What the heck?
It's usually at the bottom.
Oh, so if you text 500, then you can get a 30-day free trial. Okay.
Say that again.
So you go to a 30-day free trial. You go to audible.com/Beaw, BEAW, and you can get a 30-day free trial and just learn everything that you can.
Yeah. What's the number I can text?
500, 500, audible.com/BEAW, and you can check out their entire library of books and podcasts and check that out and increase your knowledge, because these days there's honestly like no excuse. Like if there's something you really want to know, someone goes, "Oh, tell me about it," and you go, "I don't know." That
annoys me so hard.
That's just laziness now, because you can learn about anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or if they go, "I'm so bored," it's like, well, you can escape to anywhere. Listen to a book.
Yeah.
But yes, talking about
cultural sensitivity and emotional stability.
Yeah. So I guess kind of bring it all the way back. I brought that up because I just didn't grow up in a household where we talk about emotions and how did that make you feel and what about that, like where you have to question why it is that you're feeling what you're feeling. And I think that's just basically what a psychology session is, right? Or a therapy session is. Not psychology, therapy session is, where they're like with our previous podcast that we had Tiff on, she was opening up about her therapy session, and we were both so curious as to like, well, what goes on in there?
Yeah, I think I might do it.
Yeah, and then she was basically saying it's something as simple as, well, what brings you in today? And you just talk, and it's one of those where you talk yourself into a solution, and they're basically there guiding you. I didn't have that. I guess I'm just fortunate enough to just ask myself a lot of these questions. I guess most recently, like I've never understood stress. Like I can't tell you, maybe I can think of one time my whole life that I recognized stress.
When was that?
I was driving on the 10 freeway, merging to the 710 North.
Okay.
And this was a time when we were filming a lot of skits for JK Films. And I was doing a lot of things, and I wasn't efficient with how I was doing it. I probably wasn't delegating properly, but I was basically spread too thin, and I'm driving because I think I had just picked the props for a sketch or a show or something. And like I could feel my heart racing, and I was just like short for breath. And then I'm just like, what the hell is going on? And I'm not really thinking clearly.
Like a panic attack.
And I'm just speeding. Yeah, but I wasn't like gasping for air. It was more of like, It was more like, when you drink a lot of caffeine or pre-workout and you're just ready to go.
Yeah.
But I wasn't excited.
Yeah.
It just felt negative, ready to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, what is happening right now? Like I didn't understand it. I'm like, what is happening to me? And then I'm like, okay, wait. So then I like took a couple steps back, still driving. And I'm like, I think I might be stressed. Like, I think this is kind of stress. And I've always lived life like that, not really knowing what I'm feeling. So if I'm feeling something bad, I'll sit there with myself and go, well, why do I think I feel bad? And I try to be really honest with myself, and I do know, and I do see my shortcomings. What I do after that, that's a different story, because changing all that's hard, right? But I will sit there with myself and be like, what the fuck is going on? Why did I feel that way? What was said to me? What did I say? Why did I react to this? Like, I'll just sit there and I think and I think and I think and I think until I feel satisfied with a conclusion that I find. So then that happened, and I want to say maybe a few years after that, then I think I was in a depressed state for years, and I didn't know I was depressed.
When did you find out you were depressed?
After you and I started really working on our relationship.
Yeah.
Once my dad passed, and then I was pregnant. Like, my dad passing was so life-changing for me because I had never lost anyone that I really cared about. Yeah. And then to lose my dad, I was like, oh shit, this is wild. Yeah. And then like we have, you know, our issue, where we're like, fuck, are we gonna get divorced? Like, we can't work this out. And then we're like fixing that. And then we made the conscious effort to be like, okay, well, we got to sort and iron all these things out, because we're not going to bring a kid into an environment where we don't know who we are.
Yeah. We don't want to bring a kid into a toxic environment.
Yeah. Because that's just so fucked up. Right. So you and I were doing hella uncovering. Yeah. You know, and in that, I was just like, damn, like, why do I feel like I'm in this funk? We
would do like a bunch of 7-8 hour just talking sessions, trying to be vulnerable, trying to share everything. And sometimes it would start in an inconvenient time at like 10 p.m. and then all of a sudden talk till 5 a.m. to really work things out. We were really, really adamant about it.
Yeah. So, yeah, we were doing that whole year, right? And then by then I still didn't realize I was depressed. I didn't know I was depressed. I just assumed that all of these things that were happening within our relationship, my relationship with my friends, my relationship to work, my relationship with my family, like all of that was bad. And it was bad because I had removed myself from all of it, from you, from my friends, from work. I removed myself from my family.
Why do you think you did that?
I don't know, but I'll get back to that. Oh, okay. Because I know it's so intense right now, right? But this is our final sponsor.
So no more after this one.
Yes. But it's definitely one of my favorites of all. I'm just such a big advocate for meal kit delivery services. So this one's brought to you by HelloFresh, who is a meal kit delivery service that shops, plans, and delivers a step-by-step recipe and pre-measured ingredients so that you can cook, eat, and enjoy. And I'm a huge advocate for this. I've been doing this for, how long has it been since we lived in downtown LA? 4 years?
3 years?
Yeah, like 3-4 years. And once I discovered it, it was absolutely life-changing. So you guys know I've been trying to cook more, which I have been doing. A lot, and I do attribute my newfound love for cooking because of these meal or just HelloFresh. Because they give you the recipes, they give you the ingredients. You're not buying the wrong thing. You're not buying too much of that thing. And you're buying the correct thing. They source everything from like local farms. And they give you the recipe. They give you step by step, which I love. Everything's already pre-measured, pre-packaged. You cook it and you enjoy it, but you're learning through the whole process because they like wash it here, cut this way, make sure that you want to put this to cook first because this is going to cook faster than this. So you're learning so much. It makes for a busy lifestyle too, just simplifies it because the thinking is gone. You get to pick how many meals you want in the week. You can skip weeks. It's such a cool service, you guys. Like, I can talk about this forever, but because you guys are listening, we're gonna hook you guys up. So HelloFresh is gonna hook you guys up for $80 off.
That's a lot.
$80. Holy crap. So for $80 off for your first month of HelloFresh, go to hellofresh.com/Beaw80. Okay, don't forget the 80. So that's hellofresh.com/BEAW80. And again, don't forget to enter BEAW80. So it is hellofresh.com/Beaw80. And yeah, so it's like basically receiving 8 free meals. Like, you guys cannot go wrong. So go get that, enjoy your meal, and don't think about it anymore. Okay. What was I saying?
You're talking about how you're depressed.
Yeah, so
and you were moving yourself from all those relationships.
so I didn't realize. So this was something that was happening subconsciously.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that I was removing myself from so many of these things. Like, I just remember thinking to myself, like, I really felt like a piece of shit. Like, I just felt like, sorry, I have like phlegm in my throat because I'm coming from a flu, but I remember, like, I adore you, and I adore my friends, and I adore my family, and I look up to you guys. And the way I was just being with myself, I was just like, ugh, like, you're not worthy of these people. Like, why are you plaguing these people with like just your presence, you know? Like, I just felt subpar to everyone.
What do you think made you feel that way?
I have no idea. Like, I really have no idea.
You just found yourself in that mindset.
Yeah, I mean, if I really, 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 really dig, I can probably go as far back as like just growing up, you know? Like,
Yeah.
like with any issue, it starts from when you were really young, and like, I don't know, I would probably attribute it to just me being a middle child, and like
Not
always
getting enough validation.
Yeah, always seeking some sort of like praise or approval, you know? And then like, you know, like my parents too, like, they're always very like, you know, you listen to authority, like, they're always right, the adult's always right, and you're kind of like, okay, you kind of have to blindly follow that. So I think it's just all of that, you know, where I just felt, maybe I have like my daddy issues too. I don't know what those are. It could be one of those where I just want attention from my dad so bad, and I want my dad to always like be right, that I make him right or something.
You feel like you never got enough attention from your dad?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, so it could be all of these things, that just kind of, it was just that perfect storm, you know, where all the decisions I made leading up to that point, like, it was just all bad for me.
How come you never try to seek help or get therapy?
I didn't even know. I just thought it was like, I'm bored of things. That's what I thought, you know? Like, even though my mind's like these people are too good for you or whatever. I just was like, wait, that's such a negative thing to think, Gio. That's not what it is. You're just bored of this stuff. You just need more stimulus, you know? So I think I would reason with myself to get out of a funk. Yeah.
And then what would you try to do?
To get out of a funk?
Yeah, was that what
I would just be by myself. Like, I was just away from everything. Yeah, I would just get away from it, and I didn't want to go out anymore. Like, I was very irritable. Like, I would see things in people and I'm like, ugh, get away from me. You're so annoying, you know? But that's obviously a reflection of me.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely projection. And then, like, I did a good job of just isolating myself. Like, Tiff would like, hey, let's go hang out. Let's do this thing. Oh, that's not really my thing. Like, nah, next time. Instead of going, oh, wow, my friend wants to hang out just for friend stuff. Who cares what we do?
Yeah.
Go hang out to be a friend.
Yeah.
You know, like, it doesn't matter if you're going to go sit in a car all day. You're with your friend. Like, that's what normally I would be down for, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a fan of eating live octopus, but if she wants to eat live octopus, she's my friend. I want to hang out with her. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
You know, that would be my normal me. But I became very selfish, and like, that's how I justified it, as like, oh, we're just growing apart, you know? Yeah. So then in all that digging and uncovering, that primarily focused on us. So I was kind of put in the back, but I did feel better because now I had you back. And then I started understanding why you left, you know, like why not you left, that sounds wrong, but why we split up and we were doing our own, like living our own separate lives. And then my friends started coming in and they started understanding, you know, where my mind was, and I started understanding where their mind was, and everyone was just kind of in different places. And then he arrives and everything's awesome, and we're so in love, and we're so in love with him, and everything's really good. And then I think a year, he turns a year, and then I'm like, fuck, I'm like, all of a sudden I'm just like really exhausted, and I can't get out of bed, and I'm always so sleepy, and I'm like very unhappy with just my body and myself, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And at that point, like, I think you pointed it out too. You were just like, I think you might be depressed.
Like postpartum depression?
Not postpartum, because it had nothing to do with like Taika.
But isn't postpartum just mean like after a pregnancy?
Yeah, but I don't know if I would attribute it to the pregnancy though.
No, they're not. It's not the. They're not using it as like the catalyst. It's just a time period.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, I guess so. But it was a year later.
Oh yeah, I don't know the time period. If it's like
Yeah.
6 months or a year or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. But yeah, like it was just maybe it could be postpartum, but yeah, I just felt like at that point I was just like I really didn't know who I was, you know, because we did this uncovering and I was able to just patch up so many different things in my life that now that I'm like, cool, everything's good. And then I'm like, why am I still so fucking sad?
You're still sad?
Yeah, because I just was like, who am I now? What am I doing?
So you felt like we patched up what we needed to patch up, but you didn't patch things up with
exactly.
yourself?
Exactly. That's what it felt like. It felt like I had zero self-confidence. Like any little thing that I guess you mainly would say to me, it was just like, it could be so devastating or it could be so rewarding. Like, and that's, to me, tells me I was in a really bad place to be so vulnerable to where you would dictate how I would feel. Like, that's not good.
Yeah.
You know, like I should be dictating how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, and if anything, the outside responses are just going to shake it a bit.
Icing on the cake, yeah.
Yeah, like they'll shake it up, but I shouldn't be toppled over.
Yeah.
And that's what was happening. So, yeah, I mean, maybe at that point I should have seeked some sort of help, but as stubborn as I am, I always feel like, let me try to figure this shit out. You know, let me see what the fuck is going on. And so then I take it very basic levels, right? Like I was like, okay, well, what's the first thing that I can immediately change? I'm like, okay, my appearance. Because like I'm a very visual person, and I'm like on myself, I like to present myself a certain way. I like to have my nails done. I like to wear makeup. You know, I like to know that my hair is done. Like all of those things affect my mood because it's fun for me, you know, and it's like I'm my own canvas, so I get to paint on myself. Like every single day I get like a new drawing on me, and it's really exciting and fun for me. And that's where I started. I'm like, okay, well, that's easy, right? Like I'm fortunate I can buy what I want to buy and dress up and have fun that way. So then I would do that, and it felt a little bit better, you know, and that was very surface. So of course the impact, because the risk of doing that is so little, the rewards are going to be just as little. So then I'm like, okay, well, what's the next thing I can do? All right, well, I wasn't happy with my body because I still had like 10 pounds or 15 pounds of that baby weight, you know, and I don't like that feeling because I just didn't feel, so already I don't feel like myself, and I kind of lost myself because 110% of me went toward Taika.
Yeah.
That once he's, you know, able to not kill himself.
Yeah, it's a little bit more cruise control.
Yeah, then I'm not so involved with him, you know?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, okay, then let me fix that. So then I hired a coach, and then I was able to lose that weight, and that felt a lot better too. So all these like things I just started doing little by little, you know, I started understanding like, okay, what's my next goal, right? And when I think of goal, I don't think of like save the planet, you know, like I think of very obtainable, easy goals. And my goal was, I want to be with Taika. I want to be so involved in his life that he has a full-time mom around. So I'm like, okay, well, how do I go about doing that? And then like slowly I started really feeling like myself again. Like I started going like, okay, these are my wants and desires. Let me go for that. But like I felt so selfish, you know, so I'm still kind of in this depressed state.
Like you didn't even know if it was okay to do
because I felt like, because I just felt like, wait, why do I get to, who am I to deserve what I want? Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Yeah. I was like, well, who do I think I am that I deserve what I want? Like it should be a collective, what we all want.
Don't you feel like as long as you're not hurting other people, you should be able to do what you want?
Yes. But then I feel like I felt, because that's not there anymore, but I always felt like I'm not 100% mine anymore. I belong to you. I belong to my friends. I belong to my mom. I belong to Taika.
Yeah.
So
There's truth to that.
yeah, so I was like, why do I get 100% of myself?
Well, I think you have to have 100% of yourself, at least some parts every day. I don't know if you noticed this. Like, for example, when I come home, there's another for example.
105.
Like when I come home,
Yeah.
and then like sometimes I'll come home and then I see your face and it looks like this, and I'm like, fuck, Taika wrecked her ass today.
Oh, dude, yeah.
So immediately I'm like, I don't know if you see it in my
I
eyes.
do it. I see it immediately.
But my eyes, I go, I'm taking them over the next 3 hours. So I'm like, get your little ass
see
over.
it. Yeah, I feel it.
I fucking start playing with them, you know?
Yeah.
And then so like I'm hoping that with that I'm like, okay, hopefully Ma Bear can recharge, get some me time, or like maybe if we had a pool, you know, that's when you jump in the pool and just like, oh,
I'm gonna belly flop
yeah,
this way.
like get a martini or something, or get in the hot tub, or
Yeah.
do yoga, or I don't know, or even go upstairs and just watch TV for an hour by yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think people gotta breathe. Like, you know, like
Yeah, I agree.
I think even your mind's gotta breathe. You can't. I think that's how people get PTSD. Like when they're
burnt out.
when they go to war.
Yeah.
They're in this war environment 24 hours a day. Like, even if you're in war and you're able to pull out like a magazine out of your cargo pocket,
You're
and just
gone for a little bit.
and just look at, oh cool, fucking Camaros or whatever. Like, you just have a little break.
Yeah.
I think it's really important. I think you should try to like seek at least an hour a day.
Oh,
if
I
that's
agree.
you.
No,
That's
I
you.
agree. And I learned a lot of this behavior from my mom. My mom is that way. She's so responsible and she's so selfless. And she'd put everyone else first. And growing up, I was like, I loved that,
Yeah.
right? Like, what kid wouldn't love that?
Yeah.
So she would put everyone else first. But now that I'm older and I understand, like, I hear her talking and venting or complaining or whatever, and I'm like, whoa, like, that was gonna be me if I didn't change it.
Yeah.
You know, because there's a lot of resentment, there's a lot of hard feelings and a lot of weight on her back, because you can tell that there's some regrets, right? Like anyone.
Because then you start fulfilling obligations for the sake of it instead of for
Your heart or
for your
yourself.
heart, and then so later on you build resentment because you're
Absolutely.
like, it's because I took you to school every single day that I couldn't join that yoga class I've always wanted.
Yeah, and it's like, well, why didn't we change that?
Yeah.
You know, why didn't you make time for yourself? Yeah. So I think going back to the kind of the era that, you know, my mom grew up in, and that's just what she knew, so that's what she taught me, and that's what I knew.
Yeah.
So then when I started, and you were a great support system where you were like, you'd push me to be like, no, like, it's okay. Like, your wants are good. Have that want. Like,
Yeah.
who are you going to disappoint?
Yeah.
Shit's not going to fall apart. And I'm like, oh my God, I would hear my dad tell my mom all that shit all the time. And when my dad would tell my mom that
What
shit.
would your dad tell your mom?
Because my dad basically was like, come on, like, have some fun. Like, just call out of work one day. That's a small example. Like,
Yeah.
call out of work. Like, just call the day off.
Just do you
Let's hang
for
out.
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And my mom's like, no, well, we can't. Who's going to open schools? And then my dad sarcastically would be like, yup, the school's going to burn down and fall apart when Martha doesn't show up,
Yeah.
you know? And I would laugh
That's
because
funny.
I'm like, yeah, what's going to happen? Like,
Yeah.
the school's not going to stop because everything revolves around her.
Yeah, you're not as important as you think you are.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't realize that I was putting myself in that same situation until you started telling me stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it myself. You know, the first one being like, I didn't want to leave JK party because I'm just like I'm such a staple now because so
Yeah.
many people have seen me on there for so many years.
Yeah.
And the crew depends on this energy that
Yeah.
like these people bring, you know, like they can depend on me being the host. They can depend on, you know, me and you fighting all the time. Like, there's just this chemistry that's built that we just rely on, and that becomes this branding. And just behind the scenes too, I was just like, well, this is the work I do and whatever. Like, I don't want to burden other people. And again, I was thinking of all these other people. And I'm like, fuck, I feel so bad. Like, I'm letting down my friend Joe. Like, he like, we all eat off of this thing, you know? Like,
Yeah.
this is our job. Like, how can I walk away from it when no one else is?
Yeah.
You know? And you were just like, nah, dude, like, you didn't say dude, but you were just like, no, like, you have to know when it's when, you know? Like, it's okay. People grow. People have different wants and needs. And I was just like, yeah, that's so true. And that made me remember, like, you know, right when we got together, I was like, no matter what happens, like, no matter what point I am in my life, as soon as I have a kid, I'm devoting everything to that. And like, I was going back on that. And then that's when I recalled that, and I'm like, fuck, I need to stick to that. And I remember sitting down with Joe and just being like, we gotta talk.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I want to do this for myself. And he was so dope and so supportive. He's like, fuck
Joe's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, he was like, fuck yeah, do that. Like, I support that. But it was hard. Yeah,
Do you think do you think it's still hard now for you to find your identity, or do you think you found it, or are you still kind of searching for it?
I don't know why I feel choked up right now. Maybe I'm like reliving it again.
Maybe. I think you are.
And I'm like, ugh,
Maybe.
it was such a bad space.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, and you're giving me a really sad look. Stop giving me a sad look.
Well, I'm here for you. I'm beginning.
I know, but I'm not sad.
Fine. What are you? Sexy?
You big bozo. No, I'm just thinking back of that. I'm like, damn, I've come a long way.
You have. You came
like,
a really long way.
Yes, I think
But
I'm
there's
just,
so many battles.
yeah, it's been kind of crazy, right?
You're so badass.
Stop. You're being so soft and cute. Ugh.
I gotta be something cute.
Why are you going to cry?
Because you made me cry.
What the hell? Yeah, so I think I'm just like thinking of all that shit. I'm like, God damn, that was so hard. But to answer your question, would you say if I found myself fully?
Yeah, you think you're still on your path to finding yourself, or do you think you
No, I think I know who I am.
Who are you?
Now.
Who are you now?
God damn it. Can you stop?
What would I do?
Your eyes are all watery. I'm that person. If I see someone cry, I'm going to cry even more. I don't even have to know what's going on. And I'm like, oh my God, they're crying. Why am I crying?
Because you're a big softie.
Dude, for real. I'm a big softie. No. Who am I? I am, I don't even know how to put it into words. I'm just a cool, fun, crazy, emotional mom friend.
And do you feel like you're still finding that out, or do you think you have done that?
Have done what?
Like, for example, for me, for example.
Now that I've shattered your mirror, that's all you can hear now.
Yeah. For me, I think I'm a warrior dad goofball.
Oh, that's really nice.
So I think, so in order for me to be that, I have to do those things.
Yeah.
And so by being a warrior, that makes me a better dad. By being a dad, that makes me a better goofball. And that's the package. That's who I am.
Damn, that's when the OCD kicked in again, because you were able to figure all that out.
No, but I've been knowing this.
That's tight.
Yeah, I've been knowing this. So I noticed that, like, that's why I have to train hard. You know, it's like one of the podcasts that really resonated with me with Joe Rogan was, I think he's kind of similar in that way, where he's like, if he doesn't thrash himself for those 2 hours a day, he's not going to be a good dad. He's not going to be a good comedian, because he just has too many internal demons that he's battling. And I think for me, like, I have to be all those things. So, like, when I train my ass off, when I'm getting my ass beat, I'm still goofing around there. Like, there's just these multifaceted parts of me that I have to do. So when I'm getting my ass beat, I have to goof around. And then when I'm with my kid, we got to do extreme warrior shit, even with my kid. So when Taika likes it that I'm throwing him in the air and doing crazy shit, that makes me happy, because I'm fulfilling, like even when I go hiking, I'm fulfilling like a warrior father-son relationship. You know, so like those are the things that I know, and because I know these are the things I have to do to kind of hit those notes to play this song. Do you know what like notes you have to hit to play your song so that you don't get lost?
Yeah. Okay, then for me right now, then it's mainly being a mom with Taika, like that discovery of mom with Taika. Like
what about you though? Who are you? With me
then, so I'm the mom that I like, but then I'm also the friend, like the emotional like friend thing. So that's why for me, I have to be around like the friends and the people that I love, because they just give me so much life and energy. That's why I'm so compelled to do the secret project that I haven't released yet, that we're gonna start leaking soon.
Yeah,
because then that's like my personal outlet now.
I also think
it's a really fun outlet.
I think you should also make it a goal for yourself to hang out with one friend once a week at least.
Yeah.
because I think at least you'll keep hitting that note.
Yeah.
Because I think people, they lose themselves and they get burnt out or they get in a depressed state.
Yeah.
Because they're not hitting their notes to the song.
Yeah.
Like especially people that have a tendency of like going 180 one way.
Yeah.
Know? Like we have friends like that. Like a lot of artists are like that. They're like,
because they feel so much.
yeah, like even David, for example, he goes, okay, I'm gonna get into fitness, right? And he goes, bang, and he's freaking going ham, and he goes, oh fuck, I haven't cooked in like 6 months. Damn, I'm kind of sad. Bang, fuck, I'm getting kind of fat again. And I think it's important to like not ding 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 ding, but if the song is ding ding ding, every week you gotta hit the ding ding ding, so that you're constantly, you don't lose who you are.
Yeah. Oh, and a creative is another big one of that. Like I have to do something creative
once a week. I think you should.
So whether that's like just being creative on my body, whether that's cool, that's changing the physical aspects of it, which is in training, or if it's just clothing, or if it's makeup, or tattoos or piercings, or what. Like I have to feel some sort of creative energy around me. And if I don't do it this way or like on secret projects, then I find myself wanting to insert myself in areas where I can help develop either a business or an idea. Like I find myself always like putting myself in that space, you know, whether it's like my brother's like, hey, what about this? Oh, let me help you. You can do this with the website. This is, you know, I have another friend who's barely getting into this whole space. And she'll ask me things, and I'm like, oh, what did you think about this? What about this website? This one's going to give you analytics. This time, dude, let's go get lunch. Let's talk about this. Like, I get so excited with just building on ideas with people. Yeah. So, like, that's another one. That's why with Taika, I'm excited because I get to hit those things, minus the adult stuff. Yeah. I get to hit those spaces with him all the time. I get to play. Yeah. I get to be creative, and I get to just be part of his life.
That's cute. Are
you going to cry? God damn it.
No, I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah, and your eyes are getting watery.
No, it's allergies.
Okay, fine.
I cry OCD tears. So only 2 drops on this side and 2 drops on this side.
You're so funny. No, I'm extremely happy now, and like genuinely happy. That's, you know, because I'll be happy for moments in the past. Yeah. Like I'll be happy for those accomplishments, but it's a very fleeting happiness. Yeah. But now I'm like so grateful and so happy for where, you know, what I went through to just be here, and just be at peace. You know, and problems do arise because, I mean, we're all fucked up, right? But it's easier for me to have my solid foundation, stand on that, and then go, okay, well, what's really going on? You know? And now, because you and I have our solid foundation, I have my friend, you know, like my best friend that I can be like, dude, this is what's happening. And then we can talk about it. Or if it's one of those where I'm like, oh, well, I want to talk to my other best friends. Then I have them there, and I feel very comfortable talking to them about these things.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really fucking cool. Like, it's such a cool space. It's like very empowering.
To have your support groups.
That, I mean, and just to have your peace of mind that like it's okay, you know, like we have problems. Nobody knows anything. Like that always helps. Yeah. Like no one knows what they're doing. We're all figuring it out. Let's just have fun. Yeah. You know, and like once I was able to like really believe that in my mind, because I always felt like people were so much smarter than me, like they know more, like I should be listening to them because they know more. But now that I'm like, it's kind of, that was my version of your OCD. I'm like, they know better than me, you know, so I'm gonna stay quiet. Like I'm gonna take the back seat on this one. Now I'm just like, let me hear what they gotta say. Yeah. And then I'm gonna decide for myself.
That's, you know, good. That's really good.
Yeah, no, it's really, really good. Yeah, like I sleep better. My memory is really good. Like I'm not sleepy all the time. Like I'm where I want to be. Like it's nice. It's a very comfortable space.
That's good. I'm very happy for you.
Thank you. Yeah, so on that you were gonna give me some closing thoughts, but I guess those were my closing thoughts.
No, those are closing thoughts. I'm just really, really happy for you that you've like, it's been a long journey, you know, like being depressed sucks. And then for you to lose, I think the only time I really lost my identity, it's not even the whole thing, was when I was graduating from UCLA. And I'm like, do I really want to be a doctor? And I just felt like every cell in my body was like, why does this suck so much? And it's just so hard, you know, and like I just hated all, like everything about school and all that. And I just found this new passion, but like my Asian demons was holding me back from it. But since then, like I don't think I've ever
looked back.
I don't think I've ever lost my identity.
Oh, lost
because
your
I think
identity.
I know the notes I have to hit.
Yeah.
But what I've been realizing is those notes also need maturity and they need stimulation. So, for example, just because I need to be a warrior doesn't mean I can powerlift for 50 years straight.
It's just the different types of warriors.
Yeah. So I think like my body and my mind naturally goes, okay, you've done powerlifting for like a good 5 years now. Maybe you should do martial arts. And then maybe that might turn into like a swimming thing or turn into a whatever thing, you know, like.
And then when you're 80, your warrior is going to be planting fucking carrots.
Yeah, that might be like in the sun, you know?
Yeah.
And then even like with the creative side of who I am, like I think when I was doing JK, and then even when I was doing that, I'm like, is this me? And I had to go try stand-up comedy for a little bit.
Yeah.
Which is separate from JK. And then now we're doing movies. Like it's just, I think those notes I've always had to hit them, and then and I think that's kept me pretty mentally healthy for the most part.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I know you always seem really stable.
Yeah, now I think, and I'm still trying to work on myself. You know, like all the internal like Asian anger demons that I have. But I don't think I've like. I try hard not to backtrack. Like I hate when I disappoint myself. Like when I like go backwards, I really hate that. So I really try to like stick to everything to make myself better inside and out.
That's tight.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Mom. Potato.
Well, damn, that was a very intimate podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you guys were able to gain some insight from my personal experience.
Yeah, and I think when in doubt, like get
Whip
some
it
help.
out.
Yeah, get some help.
Oh, when in doubt, get some help.
Yeah, when in doubt, like if you feel even weird, I think it might be better to just spend the money and get some answers and go, oh, okay, no, I was tripping. Yeah. I'm not depressed at all. Or you do it and you're like, oh, fuck, I am. I'm so glad I spent this money. But I think it's always good to get an assessment and really figure things out so that it's not all up in your head, because that you can eat away at you.
Hell fucking yes. That's some great advice. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for our sponsors, and see you guys next time.
Yeah, Noom. HelloFresh, Audible, and also Barbell Brigade. Go check that out. Link in the description below. That's me and Ma Bear's gym and apparel company.
Yes.
So go check that out. See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.